We started with 40 boys and 3 people. And now we have early BMW, junior BMW, pre-BMW, and BMW. So now we're servicing about 300 boys here in Lexington,
And probably
Fayette
more
County.
clamoring to get in.
We have more clamor. I have somebody calling me all the time trying to get their sons in. And here's the amazing thing. You can go to college absolutely free by coming through this program. All the scholarships that we have. I have to share one of the boys, when I think about this program and the impact that it has had on these young men, on the life of these young men. I had a young man who was one of the first to get in the program as a middle schooler. And we were having a Black History program, and I wanted to showcase their talent. I said, if you can sing, if you play an instrument, or if you'd like to learn a poem for Black History Month, we're going to showcase your talent. And we were going to have a big luncheon. So I had this little fellow who came to me, and he said, Miss Akins, I want to play my trumpet. I said, you going to play your trumpet? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, what you going to play? He said, I don't know yet, but next Saturday I'll tell you. I said, okay. So the next Saturday came, he comes to me. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to play. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to play. I said, what you going to play, son? He said, I'm going to play Amazing Grace. I said, oh, my favorite hymn, son. I said, I can't wait to hear it. He said, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. On the day of the program, he came. He had his little tie, white shirt on, black slacks, and he stands there with his trumpet, and he go, bang, 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 bang. And we all looking around, but he plays it through, and he bows like he's played Beethoven's Fifth Concerto. I mean, he is so proud. He runs over to me, and he said, how to do? I said, oh, you did an awesome job. I said, you know what? I see you playing in an HBCU band someday. He said, that's my dream. That's my dream. I'm playing HBCU band one day. I said, you keep practicing. You keep practicing. And so his senior year of high school, the spring of his senior year, I took 29 boys. We flew to Houston, Texas, to Prairie View University. The president of Prairie View is a native of Lexington. And he had sent some people here to talk to the boys, and he was on me. He said, Roz, I need you to bring these boys down here. I got a scholarship now. Come on down here. I need you to bring these boys. And so we worked it out, and we flew. So we had to go to Cincinnati to fly out of Cincinnati. And so I had it stationed. I was bringing up the back of the line. Janae is at the front of the line, and I had a chaperone in the middle of the line. I said, now look, that's when the full body scan came out. I said, look, you can't have nothing in your pockets. This is not time to play. Don't have nothing in your carry-on. I said, because if you get pulled over, I'm going to leave you here. And they were like, yes, ma'am, ain't nothing in our pockets. So they're the first to take the full body scan. Well, I'm at the back of the line, and I see the young man who had played the, as a middle school, played his trumpet, and I see this funny thing on his back. I said, what is on his back? So I scooped through the line. I said, excuse me. I said, son, what is that on your back? He said, my trumpet. I had a flashback. I said, your what? My trumpet. I remember, bow, bow. Yeah. I said, what are you doing with your trumpet? He said, I emailed the band director at Prairie View, and I have an audition. Well, I hadn't heard him play since middle school. I said, you do what? What? And then I caught myself. I said, oh, that's perseverance. I said, I am so proud of you. He said, yes, ma'am, I have an audition. I said, okay, great. So we get to Houston, and we're staying at the hotel. And so I tell the boys, go freshen up, because we stayed near the Galleria. I said, come back down the hour. We're going to go to the Galleria and have dinner. And so all the boys come back down, and here he comes with the trumpet
on his back.
I said, son, I said, do you have to take your, the boy's like, I ain't walking with it. I said, do you have to, can't you leave your trumpet? He said, Ms. Akins, all my life I've dreamed of marching in an HBCU band. He said, I've seen drumline over 100 times.
Wow.
He said, I can't take any chance of somebody stealing my dream. So I got to take my trumpet with you. I said, that's fine, son. Take your trumpet. Everybody else is walking around, and, he's walking around, got it. So the next day we go for our tour on campus. We have lunch with the president. And about 1:30 he comes to me. He said, can I go over and kind of loosen up a little bit? And I'm thinking, and I'm going over here and pray, because I'm thinking, boom, boom. So he goes, and he goes for his 2 o'clock audition. At about 2:45, he calls me and he said, Miss Akins, he said, they're getting ready to have a jam session and they want me to go play in it. I said, okay. I said, just as long as you're at the bus, you know, at 3:30 when we leave. He said, yes, ma'am. That young man got a full scholarship to Prairie View University. His dream. Little did I know when I said, I see you playing in an HBCU band one day, stuck with him as a 7th grader. And so every year, Prairie View plays Grambling in what's called the State Fair Classic. Mm-hmm. And so I flew to Houston for the State Fair Classic. I have a dear friend that lives in Houston. So I called her and I told her, I said, I got this kid and he's gonna be playing in the State Fair Classic. So she said, I'm going with you. She said, I'll make sure you get there. I didn't even tell him I was coming. And I flew to Houston. We went to the State Fair Classic. And when he stepped out on that field with Prairie View's band, I lost it. I cried like a baby to see a young man who had worked so hard, who believed in his dream, out there playing his freshman year in Prairie View's band. I also went back, this is his senior year. I went back his senior year. My daughter went with me and we saw him play again in that State Fair Classic. And what a joy it has been. And Dr. Wright was here, I guess about 3 months ago, and I had him at my house for dinner. And he said to me, Akins, thank you so very much for sending that young man from my hometown. He said, we call him Mr. Prairie View. He has come here and has done so well. And then he looked at me and said, I need some more just like him.